All right, family. Yeah, I made a mistake. I was just on live now. I didn't. The video was unlisted, so some people were getting it, some people weren't. But now it's live to the world now. Let me just make sure. Yeah, yeah. So we should be good. Let me just check my channel. What's up? All right. So yeah, y'all right back with me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know everything good. Yeah, and I see myself on my unit. So now we good. All right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did
Peace.
sound wrong last time, so it's all good. Matthew Gibson, everybody. Um, yeah. So since I started this over, let me give a shout out real quick to brother Mike, Copper Child Mike L with the hat. Um, I'm gonna have his info in the description.
Yes,
He's the brother
sir.
that provides everybody with the fitteds and the hats and the crowns.
Crystal
So
connection.
yeah, Crystal Connection. Make sure you connect with that brother right there, powerful brother. I'm about to have that brother on the show soon. So make sure you connect with that brother. His information to be in the description. Besides that, family, I want to give a shout out to my brother King Simon, one of the best with numerology. Make sure you text this man for a consultation. This brother has been so accurate with me in my personal life, so I know he's one of the best from personal experience. All
Shout
right.
out King Simon.
Glucose support formula, Riverside Tai Chi. If you got diabetes or know anybody with it and you need some help, hit up that website right there. Get yourself a couple of bottles of the glucose support formula, family. And last but not least, my brother Billy Carson. Woke doesn't mean broke. The brother's a multi-millionaire. He's a serial entrepreneur doing his thing. If you want to get on that money wave and that money mindset, uh, go buy that book. It's on Amazon right now. It's actually Amazon bestseller, family. And with that being said, family, let's start the show. Yeah, I had messed up last time, family. Oh man, let me not stop saying I messed up. I ain't messed up. I just, everything is in due time.
Everything is in due
That
time.
the universe is conspiring for me. Red pill. It's
All
conspiring for
day.
me. For
All
me.
day.
You
You
know what I'm
already
saying?
know that.
Unconditional love is letting a motherfucker fuck up, even though you know they fucking up.
That's right.
Letting them fuck up.
That's right. Because
'Cause
it's a lesson to be
it's a
learned.
lesson to be learned.
That's right.
Some people might say that's not good. You ever think God is fucked up for doing what he did? Not God, but the universe or whatever, like
At all.
allowing all of this suffering, red and
At
everything, bro.
all.
You never
Because they
say,
would never do anything to you that they knew that you could not handle. And they would never do anything to you without a lesson attached. This is all about experience, LOX. This is about living off experience. How could you find yourself if you weren't lost?
indeed, indeed.
You were born, what if you were born found and there was nothing to look for? There was nothing to trip over. There was nothing to learn. You didn't have to learn how to crawl and then to learn how to walk and then to learn how to run and then learn how to talk. All of these are experiences and it builds character, it builds integrity, it builds will, and a lot of things in human beings. So, now I don't think that they have a cruel sense of humor. I feel that the planet Earth or the plane of Earth is doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Indeed. We was talking before I started the show over again. We was talking about how I was asking you what you call the times we are in a financial revolution, and you used a different term. You said it's a financial evolution.
Yes, I'm saying it is evolving. Financial literacy, finances as a service, right? It is evolving. It's not revolving in a sense to where it's going back. It's evolving to a place where it's moving forward. We're phasing out of the paper age or paper money, and we're moving into the electric age or the digital age or digital money and whatnot, as the standard. So that in it of itself, that's the great reset. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
that's one of the great resets. And you know, the fact that we have so many people who look like us that are being able to articulate to thousands of people, just the concept of economics, something that they did not learn in the public school system, something that they didn't even learn from the rappers, something that they didn't learn through the radio and whatnot. This is brand new information. But when you have somebody that can speak your language and can communicate in a way that you can listen to them, you got ice on, you hopping out of foreigns and whatnot, you know, you in high rises, mansions, you know, all of these things are enticing to the eyes and to the stimuli and the senses of the people. It brings them in. This shit is sticky. You know what I'm talking about? The shit is sticky. When my dude Bandman Kivo, he got glaciers on his teeth. And when he's talking about fixing credit and everything, it's something that people are gonna relate to because they like, yo, I speak his language. I aspire to be like that. So now you got rappers, you got brothers from the hood and all kind of stuff. Get into the financial literacy, get into the financial information, and outside of that, you have regular people. Keep in mind, right? Regular people, average Joes, individuals that don't have to have anything connected to their quote unquote resume. They have become what are known as crypto or Bitcoin whales overnight, right? A large contingency of people became rich in America by just holding on to some goddamn digital money that used to be under a penny, right? And it changed. I'm talking about they have the list of all of the Bitcoin millionaires that have been made and whatnot, and the list is astonishing. So, name me a time in history where you didn't have to put in physical work, pain. You know what I mean? You didn't have to put in some type of sweat equity in order. You didn't have to be an athlete or a rapper and sell albums and things of that nature or sell tickets and whatnot in order to make a fortune, right? Digital evolution. So these are new times, and I welcome these times because the only thing constant is change.
Indeed.
Only thing constant is change. Change is painful sometimes,
Yeah.
but the only thing constant is change. In order to know, in order to measure your growth or your development, we got to identify some type of change.
No, that's
So
facts. That's facts. I had a good conversation with Dr. Valentine off camera. I ain't gonna talk about it on crypto.
yeah, salute to my master teacher,
He gave
to the
some good
Baba.
he gave some good advice to me on protecting myself in the crypto market
Right,
and some good currencies that I should be looking at, outside of Bitcoin. Because
right.
he's
Some
not he's
altcoins.
he's not the biggest Bitcoin fan. So he gave me some
Res-
altcoins to
respectfully,
yeah,
yeah,
respectfully.
respectfully.
So he gave me
Everyone is not
yeah, yeah.
respectfully, and everyone does not have to be. Respectfully, especially when you deep dive into the crypto world and whatnot, and you understand the power of the different cryptocurrencies and what they represent, especially, you know, the proof that they provide, their blockchains, and all of these other things. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion at the end of the day, you know.
Indeed. What you been up to? What's up with your clothing line, man? Let's talk about that real quick. What's up with your clothing line, bro, my brother?
Uh, the clothing line is, doing what it's doing, is booming. You know what I mean? It's growing and whatnot. I've been doing collaborations. I've been working with brothers in Atlanta, and I've also linked up with some brothers and sisters overseas. And we're gonna be doing some big things as soon as this thing opens up. I have a brother who has a clothing line by the name of Hawks Apparel. This is this right here, Hawks Apparel. Hawk stands for health, right? Abundance, wealth, right? And knowledge. Okay. So that's the hawk. So that's representing Heru. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you can see the design, it's very intricate, but it's some copper laid. Then I have the design on the back, you know what I mean? That's the saint, you know. So
Facts.
yeah.
So one thing we also was talking about before we started was NFTs. I mean, that's what you hear about it right now
Right,
on the
right,
internet.
right.
It's NFT this, NFT that,
Right.
NFT this, NFT that, millions this, millions that. Talk to the family about what's this NFT market that a lot of people are into right now that we may not be aware of.
Well, it's called non-fungible tokens,
Uh-huh.
right? NFT is short. Non-fungible tokens, right? You should want to be non-fungible in life. You know what I mean? Meaning that no one can copy a one of one. Um,
That's what non-fungible means, one of one.
yeah. So the non-fungible tokens they are exploding right now on the art scene, the digital art scene in particular, right? To not confuse anybody who are used to like galleries and whatnot, physical paintings. No, we're talking about strictly digital art, 3D art. You know what I mean? Utilizing different programs that are out there that animators and things of that nature, graphic artists, 3D artists, they are having their day. They are having their quote unquote, they are evolving. Their market is becoming disrupted by the NFT tokens and whatnot in the NFT market. So what's taking place, and also to what has to go noted is that is run on the Ethereum network. So a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, but a lot of people don't pay attention to Ethereum, or Ethereum didn't get its quote unquote day in the light. It's not necessarily understood by the masses that the power that it represents and the power that it holds and the power of its blockchain and the power of the smart contract and what the smart contract is going to do to revolutionize many different industries. Is going to be a complete disruptor. The art industry and this quote unquote collectibles industry is the first industry that is beginning to disrupt. But the combination of the open ledger, which is the blockchain, added on to the smart contract, which is a part of the trust economy, it solidifies trust. It takes away a lot of things that were eroding, business transactions and other things. And then also the aspect of, just learning how to navigate through the Ethereum blockchain. Buying, you have to pay for gas, and gas prices are high. You know what I'm talking about? So you're going to learn how to navigate through the blockchain. You're going to learn how to utilize the Ethereum blockchain. And none of these transactions that you see on the NFT platforms, I mean, it could be done in Bitcoin that has been transferred to the Ethereum, but all of the transactions that you see taking place are being done through Ethereum. That's why you'll see something sold for 40 Ether or ETH, that's Ethereum, or 60 ETH and whatnot. And then they translate what that amount is at the time to the Ethereum coin and whatnot. So let's say that tomorrow the Ethereum started shooting up and it hits 10,000. You know what I'm talking about? And then you're gonna see even more record breaking NFT sales and whatnot. Today, March 11th, right? Today, March 11th, a very important day in history, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But today on the 11th was the record breaking sale of a digital artist by the name of Beeble, and he sold a piece for 69.5 million in a Christie's auction, right?
Astonishing, man.
Very astonishing.
69 million.
And the piece that he sold was astonishing in it of itself. It was 500 JPEGs of 500 pieces. It was a collage, a montage of all of his works that he put out for 500 days and whatnot. He'd been getting busy doing digital art before the NFT market exploded and whatnot. So that is considered to be a value based off of who bought the art, right? They are adding value to something that people would turn their nose up and be like, oh, that's hogwash. That's not worth anything. Well, there are people out there who feel like that it is worth something. And what they're doing is they're voting with their quote unquote Ethereum, and they're making this investment in these works of art and whatnot. The same way that people buy sneakers, there's people who are on the sidelines that be like, "Yo, collecting Yeezys is not, you know what I mean? That's a waste of time. You're playing yourself, sleeping outside of Foot Locker and whatnot." Well, there's people that say, "Yo, I went and bought some Nikes with the West Side Gun drop." You know what I mean? Especially the one that he did with the Nikes, and now I could resell it for $6,000. So in the NFT market, brothers and sisters and people are out there purchasing artwork for a certain price, and then they're reselling it on the marketplaces for higher prices. And one of the caveats to the NFTs, the reason why it's so revolutionary, the reason why it's not going anywhere, and the reason why I'm highly encouraging our digital artists in our community, the brothers and sisters that are out there, the makers space or the creators and whatnot, reach out. You know what I mean? We need to connect because there's some things that are coming very soon and whatnot that's going to be beneficial to everyone who is in that field. And one of the great things about the NFTs and why I said that it's going to disrupt the music industry along with the quote unquote art industry and many others is because it has an aspect of royalties that's attached to it. So if I sell my digital artwork, let's say that I'm selling an image of Red Pill and whatnot, a CGI or a 3D model of Red Pill, and then I sell it for 300 Ethereums and whatnot. I have when I mint it and when I'm able to sell it, I have the choice or I have the quote unquote right. I have the right to say, you know what? I'm going to put 20% royalty on this art piece. So when it's resold down the line, I'm still going to be getting royalties from my work of art. I'm still going to be getting broken off. It's going into perpetuity. You could have bought something from me and sat on it for 100 years. And then when you resell it, my children's children will benefit off of the sale of that. That never was possible in the traditional art world. Evolution. That was not possible in the world of Basquiat. Once Basquiat sold his painting for, the price that he sold it for, then, you know what I'm talking about? That's what it was. And everybody else who collected it, they made their lion's share. And then he basically had to, he had to hear about it, or his family had to. He's not here anymore, so his family has to hear about it. That's not what's going to take place from this point on. Going into the future, that's dead. Shout out to the brother Nadi and whatnot. The brother did a YouTube stream and he was breaking down some good things about NFT. So I highly recommend both Chicago Crypto Hustler, right, who taught me and Blue and a whole bunch of other people on this network and many other people about the power of the NFTs. And then my brother Nadi picked up the ball and he's been running with it every day on his Instagram page. He's posting receipts, collecting art, showing you like I'm supporting these artists. I'm out here busting down these ethers and whatnot. But he's also showing that once he buys the art and whatnot, when he goes into the resellers market, that art has already appreciated in value. So one thing that we need, especially people who are coming into quote unquote money and whatnot, but people who have the money to invest or to save, what we do need is we need outlets and we need we need sectors where we could buy things that appreciate.
Indeed.
So crypto appreciates, crypto art appreciates, NFTs appreciate. There are a few other things that appreciate.
It's facts, man. It's just when I know for our people when we hear about NFTs and people buying Pokemon digital art and all this weird stuff like kittens, like did you see some of the shit they be buying?
Yeah, simple pixels,
It,
very
it,
very
it seems like
8-bit
nerd shit.
pixels.
It seems like something that's not for our culture, bro.
Right,
Because it's just so like it's like that anime, the whole anime
right,
realm. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
do you see black people really becoming involved in this because it seems nerdish?
Right.
You know,
Well, one thing that I would share with you, Rich, is that the blurred community is very large.
yes.
The cosplay.
Shout out to that
Yeah,
community.
shout out to the blurs that are out there doing what y'all do. The numbers are already there. Now, the fantasy industry, outside of just the blurs, let's just say the fantasy industry, right? The fantasy industry encompasses cartoons, comic books, fantasy, adventure, video games, toys, so many different genres, so many different, you know, uh, avenues and whatnot that I would definitely say that our people who are highly invested in the fantasy industry will begin to gravitate towards the NFTs if they haven't already. And then caveat to that whole thing is that one of the breakouts to the NFT, the reason why a lot of black people know about it is because of NBA Top Shots. So what they've done for those who are not into anime or Pokemon or pixels and whatnot, they went ahead and they jumped into the collector space. And that's with the trading cards. And one of the biggest breakouts is NBA Top Shots. They sold a card of LeBron dunking. It was like a 20-second dunk, but it's built in a form of a trading card. 20 million.
What? 20?
20. And today, March 11, like I said, important date. Keep this on, circle it on your calendar. Today, the NBA owners, which was Mark Cuban and a few other NBA owners, they started their own NBA blockchain.
Wow.
Right? So it behooves the scientists amongst us, the futurists and the visionaries, the Afrofuturists, those who have visions for a better future, a sovereign future, a different day, right? Instead of embracing anything that would be considered conspiratorial or defeatist, I would begin to be optimistic and go study and do some deep diving into these white papers and find out, and slowly discover that the world that's needed for your world to exist and to flourish and to actualize itself, it's tied into these new technologies that are evolving the narrative. They're evolving things. They're moving things in a direction that they need to move in. So why don't we just get in the bus and we begin to drive our own train? Because it's one thing to look at somebody fly a plane, and then there's another thing to be in the goddamn cockpit. You know what I'm talking about? Flying it in a direction where you want to take it. So once again, we're on the cusp of multiple booms, but we're on the cusp of an evolution. Cusp.
Shout out to Panic. Cusp.
Yeah, cusp. And nobody can say with a straight face that you didn't have the opportunity to be one of the programmers of the future. You can't say that you didn't have the opportunity to be the architect in the matrix. Yes, you did. All of this shit is open source. It was all open source a week ago. I don't know what it is now. Things are beginning to crystallize. As you see, these unicorn companies are popping up. Things are beginning to crystallize and solidify. But the opportunity, the window been open from like 2012, right? When Bitcoin was $1, the shit been open. The window of opportunity, the goddamn sunroof is open. So my whole thing is the conversation, right? And what we put our attention to is, that's the conversation that we should be having.
Indeed.
It's a lot of shit going on, I promise you.
What's up with them stimmy checks and Joe Biden, man? Did he finally okay?
It's not Joe Biden no more.
What's his name? What they call him?
Moneybag Joe.
Moneybag Joe.
I got time today. Look him up. Moneybag Joe.
Moneybag.
Yeah, them stimmies is coming. You know what I'm talking about? He went and signed that 1 trillion, 1.4. That market cap right there on the stimulus is more than Bitcoin's whole market cap. Remember, they were like, Bitcoin became $1 trillion market cap. Well, this whole relief package that he signed is even more than Bitcoin, the whole Bitcoin. That's just to give you an idea of all of the money that they just printed out of thin air, right? So that even begs for those who are educated in the knowing the goings-ons of the financial market, then your best bet will definitely to begin to look at other foreign exchanges or other types of currency, because this dollar is being, shit's a joke.
Value is going down.
Right?
So
it's being
much,
devalued.
man.
It's a debased currency. So, invest your stimmy wisely, right? I'm not your financial advisor, but I would definitely highly encourage that you put a percentage of your stimmy into a pot that could produce fruits, a tree that can grow. You know what I'm talking about? A tree that can grow. And the example that I use is penny stocks are like seeds of trees or plants. Penny stocks are like seeds, and you put them in fertile soil and you plant them, and then you leave them alone and let them grow. You don't bother, you don't interrupt the process. You know what I'm talking about? When trees are growing, I don't see people outside trying to wait for the shit to just start budding and whatnot. They go on with their lives, and then one day they like, yo, the tree has produced fruits.
Yeah.
So how is that not stocks? How is that not your penny stocks? How is that not the cryptos? How is that not the XRP and the Ripple and whatnot? That's under $1 right now. You feel me? Those are seeds. Those are the look. If the shit is under a penny, my niggas, if the shit is under a penny or it's under $1, I don't think anybody has the excuse to be like, I can't play in that field.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's why Ethereum right now is a conversation that we can have with the brothers and sisters that don't got $50,000, who got about a rack or 2 racks, who can basically say, look, if you don't buy it right now, you're going to regret the same thing that you was regretting about Bitcoin when you was standing in front of that bitch when it was $1,000 and you didn't move and whatnot. So you see what Ethereum is doing just with the NFT market. If you do anything on Ethereum and you got to buy gas, my nigga, you will be buying some Ethereum right now because you will understand that you're going to need that in the future. So
It's facts.
You know, shout out to, like I said, shout out to those who keeping us. Shout out to Crypto, Chicago Crypto. I always go back to the God because he lit this fire. He had this shit burning in the community. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm gonna go to the source. I'll go to the source. Foundation of this shit. Like,
So what's your thoughts on, let's move on to these the vaccines. I noticed they saying those who are vaccinated could gather inside now, and they're giving these people perks and making them
perkies. They're getting perkies.
You know what I'm saying? You think this is going, there was a lot of controversy. LeBron came out and wouldn't say whether or not he was taking the vaccine. And
that's right.
Stephen A, you know what it is, Red, about the NBA?
Yeah.
I don't watch it. I got turned off a lot just from Stephen A, Charles Barkley,
right,
and all of them coons. They kind of
they reiterate the stereotype that niggas are $40 million slaves.
It's sad the way they talk, bro.
They enforce the stereotype that these niggas are owned. Cause that's how they're talking. That's how they addressing these dudes. So yeah, it's horrible sometimes to see how they carry each other in front of massa. One of the reasons why I said today is a special day, Rich, is because 1 year ago today is when the NBA postponed the season, March 11th, right? If anybody that's keeping score, that's officially the day that you niggas bought into COVID-19, right? Because prior to that, we knew about it, we heard about it, we saw what was going on, but nobody was wearing masks. Nobody was in fear. We was buying food and whatnot, but nobody was like, yo, this is a lockdown. The day that they paused the NBA was when the lockdown started, right? So that's today. So to see a whole year come around, right? Did it feel like a year, or did this shit feel like 3 or 4? You know what I mean? I'm kind of caught in between because in one arm, it feels like a year. I could be like, yeah, this was officially like a year. But then in another hand, I'm like, hell no, this shit was a few years. Like, are you serious? It was a year ago? So much has happened between that bookmark, right? There's been so many changes.
Yo, there's this dude, real quick before I forget, a dude named Kev. I recommended his video in December, right before that that alignment came. He made a video. Right. It was crazy. It was dope.
The conjunction.
He got a channel called Real Niggas. He said something interesting. He said that light that's hitting the planet right now that they're so afraid of. The most powerful aspect of it is going to be around for 2 years. So he was saying they got to keep this up for at least 2 years. Then they'll fall back after 2 years. But he was saying that it's got to be for 2 years to keep us away from whatever it is that's incoming on the planet, from this light that we keep, that panic and everybody else is talking about.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
The blue pill was tapping into.
Yeah, KT. Not
Corona
KT.
rising. No, KT as well.
Alkebulan. Yeah.
Yeah, KT as well. Shit, you know.
They got a 2-year window where they got to be desperate. He said he said they got to be desperate in 2 years. Like, tell us any motherfucking thing to keep us out that sun, out that light,
out those
that,
rays.
You know what I'm saying? Off of them rays. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. As you can see, the straight
Beetlejuice
idiocracies that are, that these the foolishness that they are willingly putting in front of the public, and just the weird science that they were trying to pass as factual, actual science. Like, this is a farce. It is a humongous farce. The vaccine rollout is one of the biggest blunders in history.
Biggest. Horrible, messy,
super sloppy toppy. This shit was horrible. So they have been exposed, right? In the age of information and whatnot, in the age of information, and not just the age of information, but the age of knowing. People know that this shit is not right. They know that this vaccine is not something that they have to run and get, and this shit is going to cure everything and all of this stupidity. Like, the people have caught on to the illusion. There's more people whose eyes have opened up in this past year. There's more people who have unplugged from the matrix in this past year. There's more people who have their world shattered in this past year. There's more people who have made the decision to stand up for their children's children in this past year. There's more people who are demystified, right, by the illusion, I'm talking about, of the American dream, or the illusion of American government, or the illusion of the American, health system and whatnot. All of that shit went out the window. You know what I'm talking about? All of it went out the window. So even though we may not be getting the rays from the sun and whatnot, we are still downloading the information. People are still having lucid dreams. People are still having these eureka moments. People are still just being touched by a certain type of light, right? There's apps that are being created that are bringing people together. There's technology that's rolling out. There's things like the financial system that's evolving before people. There's change taking place. Change is painful though, right? Change is sudden as well. You know what I'm talking about? So whatever pain that people went through by being on lockdown, by not being around their loved ones and whatnot, by having to, by being subjugated to wearing a mask and whatnot, a lot of that pain and discomfort from people not being in their comfort zone and whatnot has a lot to do with the motherfucking macro and the micro change that's taking place on this planet unknowingly, right? And with full knowledge. I see it. Some people are changing for the better. Some people are changing for the worse. But nobody can tell me that this planet is not undergoing a once in a lifetime change. The weather patterns are changing.
You know what the problem is though, Red? The danger of studying conspiracy theories,
right,
is that you may become so engaged in it that everything is a conspiracy.
Right.
So as much change is happening right now, they accredit all of it to the almighty white man.
Right.
Every single drop of this change, the conspiracy theorists, is
right,
all a credit to the almighty white man. He's in charge of everything right now, and that's a problem.
Well, you gotta understand and understand what the whole conspiracy theory is, and where it was created, and who helped create that whole psyops and whatnot. Shout out to my bro Hakeem Green. We had an interesting conversation, and he brought up the one of the main characters, Roger Stone, right? Roger Stone, who, you know, we were familiar with through the Trump administration. But prior to that, Roger Stone was cutting his teeth with Richard Nixon, going all the way back. Roger Stone is a major player, and Roger Stone and a few other shady characters are primarily responsible for inserting multiple conspiracy theories into the quote unquote stream of consciousness of the American public. A lot of the Europeans, they wrote those books and whatnot and added on to these quote unquote conspiracy theories and whatnot that were pointing to the white man or the European as being the almighty, you know, like this nigga was Thanos and Zeus. You know what I'm talking about? That's how they were painting it in the narrative. So people were buying into that. And like you said, they are forfeiting the powers of the end. They're forfeiting anything ancestor driven, anything ancestor related, because in none of those books did I recall, maybe I skipped a book or two, but in none of the books that I read did I see anybody really calling out the quote unquote hand of the ancestors, or the fact that our people, black people in particular, are connected to the universe in a very unique way that other races of people are not. I did not hear that. But what I did hear about is 6 feet tall Europeans with blonde hair. I heard about the Anunnaki that had niggas mining for gold and whatnot. You know, I heard about a lot of things dealing with the European. I heard about him being, you know, coming out of the caves and whatnot, mad barbaric. You know, and he cut a deal with alien entities that gave him the power in order to conquer. A lot of things have been said, but not enough things were said in reverence and, you know, and to balance the conversation. I didn't hear about the Dogons. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't hear about none of these things. It's when we plugged into the master teachers, they were able to balance the narrative and to do away with what was known as the conspiracy theory. So right now, there's those of us that are in these fields, we're not necessarily chasing theories. We're doing away with theories, you know, aggressively confronting the theories and bringing the facts and the science to the table and weighing it out, you know. And the brother and the public and the students and the young teachers, they're benefiting from that as well. So they don't grow up underneath the quote unquote theories of there's a theory of white supremacy, bro. You know what I'm talking about? There's a theory that these people are supreme. That's a problem. So, you know, yeah, I would highly suggest that anybody getting into any of these conspiracies, please go and do the research as to who originated the theories, you know, and where did they come from?
I seen the other day, actually the day I had Billy Carson on here. I think I had him on here 2 days ago.
Yes.
I seen Chris Brown had shared his book on Instagram. He
Oh
bought
yeah.
the not the woke the other one, the one about Tahuti. What's the Emerald of the tablets,
Oh, the
the
compendium.
compendium of Emerald tablets. Yes.
Right,
So
right. Dope,
Chris Brown shared. Let me ask you, because we are our
dope.
coach is obsessed with celebrities. Are you even impressed anymore? Somebody told me, listen, after that Nick Cannon shit, all these niggas better shut the fuck up, man. Because they can't, the dude said they can't handle that pressure.
Man.
They get a little happy, then they forget who they are and
Right,
who they're
right,
tied and
right,
who they're in bed with. And
right.
then once they spank them, they're gonna go running back under the covers or whatever. So do you what you think about that? Do you think celebrities should just be quiet because the outsiders may feel like they're in bed with the same people that they may talk against? What do you think they should do? Because we've been wanting them to talk out, but now it's mixed emotions when they do talk out, Red.
Yeah, I mean, you know, talking out is not, you know, it's something that I don't highly recommend. You know, everything is should not be known. Like every move that you have to conceal your intentions in certain places. A lot of these rappers, they follow the laws of power, correct? Although they don't hold back when they talk about ignorant shit. They don't hold back when they talk about their gang affiliations. They don't hold back when they talk about certain other things. But when it comes to the learning aspect of getting into the knowledge, I feel that all of those entertainers should have what is known as a handler in the community, somebody who they are a confidant, somebody who is their counsel. They need counsel. They don't need to be on Broadway putting certain things out there without counsel first. So if we were to sit down and coach the young brothers, right? Because when you get into the music industry, you get coached. When you get into the athletic systems, you get coached, you have a coach. Even when you get into the street life, there's coaches and whatnot. So these brothers are playing with a very powerful weapon, and that powerful weapon is the truth. You know what I'm talking about? So they should be protected when they go ahead and they make the decision to put themselves out there, because once you put yourself out there, you're contracted to an organization and an entity, right? If we see them on the camera, on the big screens, and the corporation is behind it, 9.9 out of 10 times they are contracted, right, through their own signature, their own John Hancock, something that they agreed to, right? You can't hold it against me. You signed the paper, right? So there's certain things that are owned, like their likeness, right? Their likeness is owned by the entity that signed them. So if your likeness is owned, and you know other things of your intellectual property is owned, first of all, there needs to be a distinction as to what's not owned. Because you might be popping out, my nigga, but what the fuck? Your contract says that these niggas owe you. They own you. Like you can't even really be like that. You know, you have an owner. So we have to figure out, once again, what aspects of their whole life do they own, and then move from there. But I would, by somebody like a Chris Brown or another celebrity, macro and micro influencers, I would highly suggest that they post all of the books. You don't need counseling for that. It's a fucking book. You know what I'm talking about? And you tell your people, go read this book. There's no harm in that. Not at all. None whatsoever. And to be honest with you, that's some of the highest forms of support that they could give some of the brothers and sisters that are in the underground, to bring them in front of their millions of people, that audience. That's giving back. If a teacher was able to help one of these artists and shine light in their darkness, right? The best way to reciprocate, other than a DM or saying, yo, thank you for saving my private shit. The best way to share, to reciprocate the love or the light, is to shine light on my project. You know what I mean?
Ain't that some shit when you think about it?
Yeah.
When a person that helps you spiritually, that's a hell of a person.
That's a hell of a person.
I mean, a person that helps you spiritually evolve to the next level, for you to hit them up on a DM like, oh, thank you, by the way, but never give back in whether it's financially or do support or your audience or just so many different ways or advice or whatever.
Right.
Like, that's some selfish shit right there, bro.
I mean,
some cold-blooded shit right there.
Yeah. You know,
there's people that have helped me read spiritually that they could be involved in some greasy shit, but I would never go out in public and speak against them just because of what they did for me when I was coming up.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So somewhere throughout the line in the generations, we lost that loyalty for those who have helped them. I'm not saying co-sign the fuckery,
right?
But at least, you know what I'm saying,
show some deal with it.
Yeah, show some respect and honor to anybody who has helped you throughout your path, man.
That's a fact.
How many emails you get? Oh my God, you changed my life. You don't have change, but they're not like Blue Pill says, support is an action word.
Facts. So it's definitely an action
word. We don't
see
the action. We just hear the words over and over. The emails. You changed I was about to kill myself. Oh my God, Red Pill. Thank. No, I'm serious. Yeah. They say things like that.
Yeah,
but nothing comes after that. So it's just weird to me. Like, that's just it's a part of our culture we got to change. When we appreciate somebody, appreciation, we talk about it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
It's the aspect of the value system, and the reward system, You know, we don't have that in this community. We don't have that. You know what I'm talking about? That hasn't been reinstated. So there's no outlets to reward one another. And when there's no outlets to reward one another, there's no outlets to appreciate one another. Then there's no outlets to even add value. One of the things about NFTs, the reason why it's popping like that is because it's adding value, it's bringing value back. There's artists who probably could have never sold one of their paintings and whatnot. When they were going to the galleries and other places, they were getting jerked. Now with the NFT and the promise that the NFT is bringing, now they're being valued for the work. You might be like, yo, that ain't worth it. But they like, fuck that. You don't know the type of hours. You don't know the work that I put in. You don't know how I built up my name amongst my community. They see me as a genius. So they're going to spend 80 ethers on my shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because they know what I'm worth. And they know when I tap out of this bitch, that shit finna triple. You know what I'm talking about? So because we don't have the value system intact, brothers and sisters in this community, unfortunately, you know, they've gone unappreciated and undervalued. This is a huge undervalue. You're seeing the disruption in the art industry where the value is because of the smart contract and because of things like that. You're beginning to see the value beginning to level up and because those artists, all of them is way more worth than what they've been getting paid. How you gonna get paid $50 for a fucking CD cover for 10 years? You know what I'm talking about? Your value didn't rise up. You know, they're devaluing you. So the valuation aspect of who we are and what we're truly worth has to be recorrected, has to be realigned. Those days are coming. If you know what you're looking at, if you could see the disruption and you like, oh nah, I'm calm, I'm cool. This shit finna hit me in a minute. You know what I'm talking about? My shit finna be on a blockchain. You know what I mean? Like, we gonna be good. So they tell brothers like myself and yourself and others who are out there in the front lines, nigga, do the work. Don't worry about the praise. I always go back to what Nipsey taught me. You know,
What Nipsey said? What you mean?
he taught me in his actions. Right? His value was given to him when they ran his receipts. His value was given to him when he died, when he tapped out, or when he got assassinated, right? That's when his receipts started ringing up. And the niggas was like, oh shit, the marathon. I want to, you know what I mean? I need a shirt. Let me go stream the music. That's my guy, right? His main thing was just keep working, nigga. The marathon continues. Don't be content. Don't wait for the roses. Don't wait around for nobody to do nothing for you. Be legendary. Do legendary shit. Create great product. Continue to be innovative. Plant seeds, right? Be very visionary in your vision when you're talking. He could have been getting on camera talking gang shit. He could have been on camera talking about the ops and everything. Look at what them rappers do nowadays. He decided to utilize his time on stages and when he was in interviews to speak about cryptocurrency, to speak about the blockchain, to speak about a whole bunch of things. So by doing that, he solidified himself in the quote unquote as an icon, and he solidified himself as an immortal, and he took himself from a overlooked, underappreciated rapper that was caught up in a bunch of a whole bunch of other rappers, and it started to be noisy and whatnot. Now he's a standalone. He stands in his own. There's nobody that could stand with him. He's a standalone entity, a personality, a name, a brand onto himself. You saw the same thing happen with Pop Smoke, right? He wasn't valued the way that he's valued now. When he was alive, he was popping. He had potential. It's almost like a fucking stock before it goes public and whatnot. You know what I mean? His valuation was going up because his buzz was growing. but people would they were still warming up to him. He wasn't, no, his valuation came after, not even right after when his album dropped, because niggas had forgot about him for a few months. So we just have to continue to walk that walk. I want to live to see the day when Dr. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Delbert Blair, Hakeem Bey, all of the master teachers, you know, they get their worth like an NFT, and their family's family will they be able to benefit off of all of these things. You feel me? Because they're all creatives. You know what I'm talking about? Outside of the lectures, they're all artists. So, you know, it's you know, it is what it is.
CC Keys Family Tree said blockchain is a way to break the financial slavery chains. Would you agree with that about blockchain?
I would. It's definitely a key. Shit, it's headed in the right direction to do that. You know?
Indeed. What you think about the Mavericks are using Dogecoin? I think they said they're gonna start accepting Dogecoin.
Is that right?
Yeah, man. I heard Mark Cuban. He's been talking a lot about cryptos and NFTs. He's been talking a lot about that lately.
Yeah. You know, he's sort of like a whale in that space. You know, he's Mark Cuban. When he says certain things, stocks rise. You know, he's a shaker. Um, you know, I own some Dogecoin. Uh, I don't really have a lot of faith in it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna dump it. I'm not gonna hold it forever.
Yeah.
I will buy more and just stack it up. But the fact that he's paying them in Dogecoins, I don't know particular about that story. I would have to check into that to see what that's about. You know what I mean? But going into one of the best things that they can do is teach these athletes about crypto right now, so they could get in. They have the opportunity to be whales. They have the opportunity to flip. You know what I mean? They could go ahead and set something up to where they're selling NFTs of their dunks and their moves and whatnot, get some bread, and then reinvest that shit and in something that's gonna appreciate, and have like a 5 to a 10-year plan. Can't just do it willy-nilly. But a year ago, March 11th, 2020, nobody could have told us that we were going in this direction, right? To where there was going to be a huge disruption of these economic markets and things of that nature. And then the mind state, because it's mind state, it's all mind, all starts here first, right? If the athletes had their minds right, if somebody was really giving them great financial advice, a large majority of them would be uber rich right now. I'm talking about silly rich.
Crazy,
I'm talking about
rich.
super rich.
If they was really getting the right,
if they was really getting the right kind of financial advisory, right? Information.
Imagine.
I mean, I can't imagine near one of them niggas that, I mean, God damn it. It can't be a conspiracy. Nobody gave you advice. None of y'all got no good advice.
Imagine putting 10 million 3 years ago in Bitcoin or some of these
factory.
Like, bro.
Yeah.
Them niggas might leave the NBA like, fuck you, NBA. I'm out. I'm out.
Right.
I'm gonna go start my own league. You know what I'm saying?
Dubai or somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? What? You said, these big top level financial advisors ain't advise them on that. But little niggas in the conscious community know the Ledge TV.
Right.
These little nobodies have been telling people about all this stuff for a long time, brother.
Long time. You know what I mean?
It's just weird. It's real weird.
Right,
real weird, bro.
So I see the silver lining in the whole thing. You know what I mean? I could sit down and waste a lot of my quality time being pessimistic, but I would never feed into that type of energy surrounding anything that's coming up and is new and is promising, and I'm seeing it personally. I don't have to speculate about this one. Like I said, a lot of people deal with speculation, and no disrespect to the speculators and whatnot, because there's money in speculation. You know what I mean? There's fame in speculation. A lot of people deal with speculation, shit they can't prove. You know what I mean? Shit that sound good. I'm dealing with concrete
Speculation could drive the market.
That's right. I'm dealing with concrete shit that you could cash out right now. There is no speculation. You know what I mean? There's only decorations. You know, there's no speculation. So I'm trying to move as far away from a lot of the speculation as possible and deal with the tangible shit, the shit that I could touch, the things that I'm seeing taking place right now. People's lives are literally changing for the better right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about on high levels that have never been seen before in this fucking community or in this generation amongst their peers.
You know, this is just my personal advice. This is not Red Pill's advice or anybody else's advice. I personally feel like with all the change that's happening right now, that's so beneficial to our community, a lot of our people are caught up in the whole Trump bandwagon. The whole what do you how you say it? QAnon?
QAnon.
Run away from that shit as fast as possible. It's not going to lead you. It's not going to take you where you need to go. It's not going. It's interesting. It's intriguing. It's it's very emotional. It gets you going. But we got that shit 15 years ago from David Icke. It ain't nothing new. Right
Tea
now,
Party.
yeah, right now we on a different way. We been there, done that. We've been whatever the fuck they talking about. People are happy with the little what they call that scrapes that Trump gives them. He might say Trump could just say one little thing, and we have such an inferiority complex. We worship him because he's white and he said it. When a white person says something, it has such it hits differently. So if Trump says something that you said 15 years ago, they will pray like Trump said. He could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue. They wouldn't care because Trump said it.
Right.
So it's just weird, bro. But like it's a different time right now.
Oh, definitely.
It's a different time right now. And I'm trying to tell people, but you know what? They want to be into that. You know, some of them they got to do it. They got to, fulfill their role here.
Oh, yeah. You know, the shit is sticky, bro. You know, it's conspiracy, it's speculative, you know. They're supposed to take over March 5th and all kind of other shit. You know what I mean? Like it's all speculative and it sounds good. And it's really, something for people to just buy time with. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of people. People got time, apparently. You know what I mean? Niggas is on lockdown.
Yeah.
They got time. People got time. You watched everything on World Star, everything on Pornhub, max that out. You know what I mean? You watched everything on Netflix. You just consume. The consumers consume. It's almost like being gluttonous. So when it comes to getting in these rabbit holes, gluttony takes over and people just consume and consume and consume. And because it doesn't challenge you, there's no risk involved and whatnot. Unlike risk taking when it comes to investing in things of that nature. That's risk, my nigga. That you at the motherfucking table rolling the dice. You know what I mean? The risk that you take in those conspiracy theories and running behind Donald Trump Jr., I mean, I don't know what type of dopamine release people are getting or what level of acceptance they are comfortable with. But, that ain't it. That's definitely not it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just sad to see a lot of our people go in that direction and be so loyal to that whole, like loyal. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? What did they give y'all to make y'all so loyal?
Yeah,
like
what?
Damn.
What? Like, I don't even think money is involved.
No, they know.
It's no bag involved.
It's no bag involved. It's
just a flag involved.
It's white. It's like what we gave up with during civil rights just to be close to them.
Right.
So
to have white ice.
Yeah. So now QAnon is like, I get to be next to a white woke person. Oh my God.
Right.
A white woke person. Oh, that's beauty. You know how beautiful that is for a nigga to be next to a white woke person? Oh, that's like heaven on earth, Red.
Yeah, and then you had people who were with the other white woke people who would be like the LBGT liberal whites, right? That's one iteration of white woke. And then you get with the militant, red-blooded, beer guzzling, gun-toting woke folk. So it's just basically switching on spectrums and whatnot. And once, Dr. Valentine warned the community. He said, you don't have no horse in that race, right? Get out of the way. But if you don't get out of the way, what do you get caught up in? You get caught up in the whirlwind of their fiasco, or the whirlwind of their psyops, because they're still running plays on each other. You know what I mean? And then you become the monkey in the middle of that whole situation, whose energy is the battery that they're necessarily feeding off of, because that's what they use us for. They use us for our energy. They use us as a battery. And then on the quote unquote Democratic side, they got a whole bunch of batteries. Negroes is, highly they riding with Moneybag Joe to the motherfucking to the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
They're getting these shots as a pledge of allegiance. You
as
feel
a pledge
me?
of allegiance.
As a pledge of allegiance.
Wow.
All of these bills that are being passed for protected groups and whatnot. People are gravitating, towards this administration. Like, this administration is friendly to alternative lifestyles, so they're pledging allegiance to them as a result of that. So it's just a fucking game being played, right? And we would fare better if we would start playing our own game. We got enough fucking game to build our own game. You dig what I'm saying?
Indeed.
We got enough talent. We have enough know-with-all. We have enough resources to really just start doing what the fuck we need to do. And then we could deal with anybody, all nationalities. We could show up in proper persona and make special appearances, shake the fucking room and get up out of there. Right. You know what I mean? Because I'm not necessarily saying that in the scheme of things that everybody, that you can't be in the room with other people who are not of your own race. That's not what's being said.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's not what's being said. But we don't worship no other people.
Right.
We don't give it up to nobody else. Fuck that. No, we ride in with our own. We got master teachers. We got people who are not even heard. You know what I mean? We got people who are on the front lines doing their things and whatnot. So those would be the people who we give our energy to.
Indeed. No, that's facts.
Can't spread it. You can't spread it all over the place.
Yeah.
Your energy is precious.
Very.
If you co-sign somebody rich, them niggas is on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If you put somebody in front of the camera and you co-sign them, your cosign means something. So imagine our cosign as a people. What does that mean for QAnon? What does that mean for the oath takers? What does that mean for the Proud Boys? Right? Last time I heard, they supposed to be in backwoods and whatnot. They loud packs. You know what I'm talking about? Last time I heard, this summer, they was the pack. Now they the homies. So there's a confusion taking place. And whenever you see confusion, you see Judas. And whenever you see Judas, you see agent provocateurism. And wherever you see any of that confusion, to me, after watching Judas and the Black Messiah, after watching the police come forward and say that he helped kill Malcolm X, after watching all of this shit show, because the ancestors is showing us something. They're like, nah, them niggas is too close to the enemy. Fuck is you talking about? That's Judas, nigga. That's not Messiahs. Messiahs don't lay with the enemy. So I'm not co-signing none of that. Fuck out of here. What niggas talking about?
Powerful, brother. Damn.
Nah.
Hey, give me a couple of questions for Red Pillar, family. Give me a couple questions for Red Pillar. Let's get to I see y'all got a lot to say in the chat. Hit up Brother Rich with a cash app if you appreciate this talk. Giving a lot of financial talk, cultural talk, historical talk. Make sure we was talking about value a little earlier. Make sure you support those that support you. If you feel like you have benefited from this channel, hit the cash app $ Black Magic 363. For people who ask me about their last what's it called? Cryptocurrency bootcamp. It's on Patreon. If you are a Patreon member, I done put it up there. So it's on Patreon. If you are a Patreon member, you can get it on Patreon. You got to sign up to Patreon, and it's available on Patreon. The 6-hour cryptocurrency bootcamp is now available on Patreon. Shout out to all the patrons out there who support Brother Rich and keep me going, because this, you know how YouTube does a brother sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If I talk about a certain thing, they act kind of crazy, whatever, whatever. Last time they told me Phil Valentine gave out medical misinformation, so and suspended me for a week. But let's see what your if there's any let me see. Okay, what kind of question is this? Oh no, we're not asking that. Trying to find a good question, Red. Give me a second, my
No
brother.
problem. Shout out to the audience. Shout out to the family out there. You know what I'm talking about? Black Magic family. I see y'all.
Okay, MG says, did you hear Goldman Sachs invest 10 billion for black woman business?
Yes,
This is
yes, I
Goldman
did see that.
Sachs.
Yes, I did see that. I did a lecture, I believe it was about a year ago, called A Conscious Industry. And I talked about what is known as the woke capitalism. Their woke capitalism, you could look that up. Woke capitalism is actually a term that you could find on Investopedia. It's a financial term. Many companies who used to preach about going green, when going green was a shit, remember everybody was going green paper. Now the new going green is woke, right? And it was basic. There's budgets that have been set aside for woke things. It started in 2017 with the Kylie
Wow.
Jenner commercial with the Pepsi. That was the launch of the woke, what they call woke capitalism. No, woke capitalism and the woke marketplace is where we are right now with everything being BLM sponsored, right? There's just an article that just came out where they said that black influencers on the social networks are grossly underpaid when compared next to the quote unquote European or the white influencers, right? In the same corporations that are championing BLM, that are pushing the Black Lives Matter narrative, they're not even paying, right? They're not cutting the check. They're not breaking bread. You know what I'm talking about? They're not setting it out and whatnot to black influencers to sell their brands, or they're not throwing the bag at black influencers the way that they're throwing it at the white people or the Europeans and whatnot. So when you find companies like Goldman Sachs dumping all of this money, particularly into black women, that's part of what is known as woke capitalism. But on the flip side of that, I would definitely highly encourage all of our sisters out there who are entrepreneurs and whatnot to go out there and to get as much of Goldman Sachs money as you can. It's still OPM, it's still other people's money at the end of the day. You dig what I'm saying? It's still other people's money. Just know what you're getting yourself into contractual wise. Have yourself a lawyer so you're not caught up in any type of trap where you're owing or, where these people are owning anything from you. But at the end of the day, they are definitely going to be cutting the check for a lot of minority. And I use that term, because that's what people understand and whatnot. But that is definitely a colorable term. But they have a lot of money on the table for double minorities, what they call black and women. You know what I mean? So I would highly encourage you to go and get other people's money, go and get that bag, go and infuse your business with the quote unquote with that windfall of money and whatnot. But when you see these companies begin to bend in that direction, don't take it personal. Don't talk about we're gonna invite the CEO to the barbecue. Don't fall for that type of okey doke. Don't start twerking in the streets and whatnot, because that's not what that is. That's protocol. That's part of a business protocol that was decided and you were not in the room when that was decided. That's a way for these businesses to fall in the line of social entrepreneurship, social capitalism, and a whole bunch of other things. It's a fucking write-off. You know what I mean? But yeah, pay attention to that. And for the brothers out there, they got the whizzes and whatnot, make her the CEO of the company or the LLC and whatnot, make her the majority holder and whatnot, and work this shit, work the system. Once again, like we said in the beginning, it's a rigged system. Know how to rig this shit because it is a rigged system, but you could work it. So work that shit. So, you know, it's not the ending of the of these things, but another article that came out that I want to highlight and bring attention to in case the family wasn't aware of that is that Black Lives Matter was forced to do their books, right? They were forced to do their financial statements, and it was revealed that in the year of 2020, right? In the year of 2020, and in no particular order, I would say not even from March, because a year ago is when the lockdown started. They started getting money around Memorial Day. So from Memorial Day up until today, they raised $90 million, right? Mike Brown's father is demanding that they break 20 million off to him. He said the most that they gave his organization, because they outside, they in the streets and on the front line, was $500. And then in that financial reports, there's reports of them giving other BLM chapters only $300 in increments. So you got to, these people, this is one of the most blatant, apparent. I mean, this is an open air robbery, no mask on, gun in your face, in front of camera, and really nobody had anything to say about that. So the companies are giving Black Lives Matter all of this money. Black Lives Matter then in turn is taking that money and pumping it into the Democratic parties and other things that are George Soros motivated and active. They probably are purchasing vaccines. They're probably putting that money into vaccine research and shit like that, or Planned Parenthood, or utilizing that income to be the lobbying money that has Joe Biden signing all of these quote unquote executive orders that are allowing transsexuals. What did Mr. C call them? They're allowing transsexuals to play sports with your daughters and your sisters and your aunts and your wives and whatnot. They're allowing them to compete with them. They could box against your daughter, your little girl. They could play basketball against her, shit like that. And they're allowing a whole bunch of things to fly. So everything is being, and then one of the biggest things that I would say will show the family that they're a crock of shit is that there's a crime wave in America in all the same black hoods that they were protesting in. There's a crime wave. I'm talking about the murder rate is rising in hood of fucking USA, hood America. Young children are losing their lives wholesale, right? And where's Black Lives Matter? Does it matter to them? Where's the outcry? Where's the highlight? And people might be like, well, Black Lives Matter only deals with police brutality and shit. Well, why the fuck did they pop out and stick their nose in Meghan Markle's affair? If they only supposed to be dealing with people who got killed by the police, and that's because that's what they try to say that one day. They don't deal with black on black violence. They only deal with police brutality and black people being killed by the state. Well, then why the fuck are y'all butting your nose into the Meghan Markle affair with the goddamn the unroyal family? If that's the case, that just goes to show you that these puppets, they talking out of the sides of their necks, bro. They don't care about the people. They don't have no love like that.
Patrice Simmons, shout out to Patrice Simmons.
Shout out to Patrice.
Love to hear Patrice Simmons says, what's with Michelle Obama and Dwayne Wade's son?
Yeah, that's another part of that agenda, this next 4 years, do not, prepare yourself so you could not be caught off guard. I would highly suggest that you would probably go and watch one of Dr. Phil Valentine's older lectures where he was preparing us for the next 4 years. The next 4 years is going to be a complete rollout, a Roman rollout. You know what I'm talking about? A Roman rollout, not Roman Reigns either. It's going to be a Roman rollout. You're going to see this shit transform into Rome or Nova Roma in a faster pace than you've ever seen.
Why the liberals wanted to be Rome so bad though? They go hard with that Rome shit though, bro. Super
Well,
hard, bro.
that's that's one of the concepts of what they created, Nova Roma. That's what America was to be. And the dichotomy, the whole aspect of the dualities and the way that they're playing the people. Now, if you're a Republican, apparently you're not gay. That's the whole, you know what I mean? Like it's like it's unrepublican to be a flamer. You know what I mean? It's unrepublican to be like, because that's seen as soft and whatnot. So the Republicans are like the red hats, the machos. You know what I'm talking about? That's the facade that they're building, and then they build the Democrats and the liberals and the left as broken wrists, weak men, soy boys. People who are not gun slingers and gun owners. You know what I mean? They're not red blooded and shit like that. So they're going to utilize a lot of that to basically play that once again, to get niggas emotions involved and to put you right in the middle of it. But the agenda is very clear. Michelle Obama, unfortunately, she and her husband are fully 10 toes into that agenda. Joe Biden, as you see, he's
Yo, bro, let me
he's
ask you,
crazy.
I've been hearing for years. Now, first I heard this. I gotta ask you this. I'm sorry. First I heard this from the white supremacists or the white woke community, that these Negroes love so much. They've been saying for years that Michelle Obama is a man. Michael, yes, they've been saying that for years. But they say that about Serena Williams. They hate niggas just as much as the liberal hate niggas. That's what they do. They just show it differently. So when they come up with conspiracy theories, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But do you think Michelle Obama is really a man, bro? I've been hearing this for a while now.
I've been hearing it too, King. I've been hearing it too. And the whole aspects of Barry and his sexuality, and Mike being a beard and whatnot. Speculative, right? Highly speculative. In the speculative market, that's a big stock. I would definitely reserve any type of critique, or I would have to reserve my judgment for the truth. Because to be honest with you, bro, I can't 100% say, yo, nah, what you talking about? But then again, unless they were doing sex changes in Hyde Park or in Chicago in the fucking O Block back in the days, because there's niggas from Chicago, you got to go to Chicago to her old neighborhood, and they'll be like, nigga, what are you talking about? She's not a fucking man. You know what I mean? Stop disrespecting her. That's something that I heard from Chicagoans out of their mouth. I was in Chicago and I posed that question, and I was told with a straight face, nah, son. She from O Block, nigga. Like, niggas would have been said that was a man. Like, when you from a certain hood, everybody, you from Harlem, you grew up with certain people and who they are. Their families. They had 3 brothers and no sisters. So that's what was told to me. And when it was told to me, it almost was like, that's it. Like, I got my truth, but I'm not 100%, but I'm just here to report, to let you know, and still, that's still speculative. I
don't think she a man, bro.
I don't think either. I mean, she gonna just bust out and show niggas a labor picture or something one day. You know what I mean? That I'm just saying, things like that would be, and I don't need that. I'm not one of those people that be like, I demand that she proves anything. That shit don't mean anything to me. It don't make me or break me. You know what I'm talking about? There's an agenda and she's down with it.
Yes, clearly.
Clearly,
Mhm.
it's not like she's giving some type of, she ain't on her Oprah shit asking fucking questions. That child is as old as my child.
Mhm.
I just realized that Dwayne Wade's son
Mhm.
is the same age as mine.
Mm.
13.
Oh,
They
wow.
13.
That little boy only 13
He
going through all
13.
that? Hold
Yeah.
on, no. The fuck out of here. Hold up.
Yeah,
Dwayne
he
Wade's son is only 13
13.
going through all this shit?
All of this stuff.
Oh,
And
that's sad,
right?
bro.
Not even a
I
developed
thought the little
mind.
nigga was at
He
least
did not go
16,
through his
bro.
puberty yet,
Bro,
bro.
I thought the little dude was 16. He's
No.
13.
13,
Oh, that's some
family.
sad shit,
Right? And they're doing
Oh,
that.
man.
They're sexualizing the child.
They done sexualized the
Right?
shit out of him. Gabriel Union is responsible for a lot of that.
All day.
A lot of
The
that.
boy's mama said that.
A lot of
And
that.
if I'm gonna listen to anybody, I'm gonna listen to the mama. So yeah, the confusion. It's easy to impress upon an impressionable mind of a child before they reach their puberty stages. The hormones have not emitted yet. And I'm talking about. But now with the hormone medicine that they put the young man on prior to him reaching puberty, you don't know what the fuck is going on in his brain. They done rewired his wiring. You know what I mean? So he's, it is what it is. Um, he's being touted as, you know, I don't know. I don't know, but I see I see how they're branding him. I see how they're building him up to, be something that he's not.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
Oh man. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, somebody said Isaiah said, am I dismissing his claims? No, I'm not, Black Sunflower. I'm simply stating my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion on this show. And I don't agree with all of my guests, everything they say 100%. I'm not saying I'm right or they're right or I'm wrong or they're wrong. I'm just stating my opinion at this current time. I don't have a Jesus complex. So when somebody comes on my show, I don't just agree with everything they say. I don't look to somebody as my savior. I analyze things on my own and form my own opinion about things. Just like Dr. Valentine said something about cryptocurrency, and you see, I still run with it. And I had a good conversation with the brother the other day about cryptocurrency. So no, I'm built differently
Salute to
from
the Baba.
you and a lot of other people. I form my own opinion about things. But shout out to everybody. I may be wrong about some
Did you see
things.
Little Nas X?
What?
I think he had got some boobs or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Well,
That's
what
crazy,
I'm
bro.
saying is,
That's
and it
crazy.
spills over into
It's overload because the Mr. C interview that surfaced
I
all
just
over
was
the
about to
internet
say.
today.
I was just about to
This
say.
shit is overload right now, bro. Like
It-
it's overload, bro. Like there's but so much attention I could get. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give it a certain amount of attention to just,
because too much attention is,
bro. But I mean, like, God, Mr. It was disgusting what Mr. C said, bro.
Come on, man.
It was disgusting, bro.
I know, man.
I mean, come on, man.
I'm just saying the level of confusion. The level of confusion. I'm confused because you confused. Mr. C says, I'm not gay. I'm a trisexual.
Yeah, man.
I try anything. First of all, that shit sound cute. But that's not a motherfucking that's not in the books, my nigga. That's not a description. You're a bisexual.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. You know what I'm talking about? And he's talking about, it's a cold world, man. Like shit is what it is, but it been that, it's gonna be that. Social media and the fact that, once again, the values have been eroded. The values have been eroded. This community, this society, and this culture is there's an agenda, there's an underlying agenda, and there's a lot of money behind this agenda.
A lot of money.
I saw a HBO special about Woody fucking Allen, bro.
Mm. That's
About
big.
what
That's
he
a
was,
big time freak.
big time pedophile,
Whew.
bro.
Big
Big
freak.
time. You know what I'm talking about?
Big old freak.
And you know, it just and it just showed the manipulation aspect of how he utilized his power, how he utilized his prestige, how he utilized the press.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
To to leave an impression on the public's mind of the fact that he was not the monster that this motherfucker is. After watching the documentary, you like, oh hell no.
Mm.
I don't even know why Bill Cosby is locked up and this nigga's movies is still could be found to this day.
Right. Right.
I mean, his whole library could be found, and I don't hear no smoke about Woody Allen.
From Oprah Girl? No.
Not a ting.
No.
And he's married to his stepdaughter. I mean, it don't get no more creepier than that. So, you know, all of that confusion, you know what I mean? People would say that it's a sign of the times, the Aquarian age, but god damn it, bro, that's gonna be a part of this age that I'm not gonna be cool with,
Yeah.
you know.
It's just a lot going on right now. A lot to
It is a lot.
especially for those with children. It's a lot going on. It's from the vaccines to the agendas to the school system. Like it's a
Like
lot for those.
parents,
Yeah.
us parents, my nigga, you know what I'm talking about? Like, we got real life shit that you niggas could play cool all day on these cameras and do whatever you do. Who cares? Niggas if you got children, and if you don't care, either you are completely unplugged and off the grid, and I salute you for that, or you just don't give a fuck.
Right.
But anything in between, you like, yo, hold on. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is 20 years gonna look like for my seeds? What is 20 years down the line? This is my advice. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. Roblox went public yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
If you a parent, the best thing that you could do for your child is buy him some Roblox stock. Mm-hmm. Instead of them fucking Robux. You know what I mean? My Wisdom Bella, she loved her some Roblox. She was playing that shit every day.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? A video game?
Yes. Okay. Once little man learns about it, it's on and popping.
Road? Like the road you drive?
ROBLOX. Roblox. Okay. It went public yesterday. The stock started booming. I think it was at 69. Get the child 10 shares of that shit into the world of stocks and whatnot. And that's because I'm talking about the 20-year plan from now. Get them get them a Bitcoin, a crypto wallet, get them some penny stocks. Mm-hmm. Put them to work. Have them create some fucking NFTs and whatnot. Have them little niggas create some video games. Have them tap into some, because when you young, money is attracted to you. Convince these 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds to plan 20 to 30 down the line like you wish a nigga did for you. When you was out there buying Bo Jacksons, you wish somebody, or you was buying the first the ones and the twos and Jordans and whatnot, somebody would have been like, yo, what about a Nike stock, young man? How could that have prepared you and got you right now? So if you know what that shit feel like, I would say put it on the line for the young ones. The best thing that we could do at the end of the day for these babies and these little ones is to prepare their financial future and to get them into a place where they're not in this fucking cesspool of confusion and illusion. Get them up out of that, bro. And thank us and thank me later, my niggas. Get them up out of that, because I promise you, they're gonna be in it and not of it, but for so long. Everybody can escape the jaws of the motherfucking law. Like, we didn't. You know what I'm talking about? We didn't escape the jaws of the law. We got dragged by the streets, pulled us, the undercurrent of the underworld, pulled niggas completely under. And the current is even stronger now. These little niggas is 12 years old with AKs having full wars in the street. I'm
Mm.
talking about these little niggas is doing black ops. They doing Call of Duty in the streets. They got military weapons. Babies.
Yeah.
They on lean, my nigga. Did you see the little nigga who do the Junebug challenge? Spot him, got him. This little nigga like a gremlin. These little niggas is on Xannies and perks and lean, and they'll turn your daughter out. They having real life. I mean, come on, bruh. So
Spot him, got him.
yeah, scared the shit out of me when I seen it. Like, what the fuck? Shout out, you know what I mean? So
You know, one of the things, real quick, Red. One of the things we got about 15 more minutes, family. Then we're gonna wrap it up. One of the things that as a parent that I'm like the level I'm at right now as a parent, where I'm trying to protect, I'm protecting my child, is the fact that they want him to wear a mask. He's 2 years old. They want him to put on a mask already, and I'm not putting a mask on my 2 year old baby. I'm just not doing that. That's just not happening. So
yeah,
a lot of I want to keep him active, and I want to take him to places where he could be involved in activities like gymboree and stuff like that, where he's active and he's moving around. But a lot of them like, yo, he got to wear a mask, and I'm like, what the fuck, he's 2 years old. That's like inhumane, bro.
It's
Like if you read the
crazy.
packaging on a lot of the baby masks, it'd be like 4 years and up.
Right.
Like, bro, it's not even designed for a 2 year old.
That's
Like,
right.
this is some shit we created after Corona revived the epidemic. We said, okay, 2 year old, but 10 years ago, it would have been illegal for a 2 year old to have on a mat. They would have called that child abuse, bro.
That's right. They
That
can't
would have been
breathe.
child abuse, my nigga.
That's a fact.
But now it's like, oh no, because of this, well, the nigga got to learn how to breathe with a mask on, bro.
And like you said, they engineered that shit recently because
super
when
recent.
it first popped off, they were like, yo, children underneath a certain age were not even susceptible to the shit.
That, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
so I feel your pain. I feel your pain 100%. My newborn, my son is about to be 1 April 2nd. Omari is about to be 1 years old.
In a year, they're gonna try to throw that shit on him. Crazy.
Not under my watch.
You know what I mean?
He haven't even been inside of a store yet. On guard, I promise you. He haven't been he don't even know what inside of a store look like. His mother was like, nah, he ain't going inside of no stores. Mask or no mask. So, my son, to be honest with you, my son might have been in contact with 20 humans in the whole 1 year. 20, the max. So we don't really, I'm just practicing seclusion right now, waiting for this shit to blow over because we don't live in an open state. You know what I'm talking about? When I was in Atlanta with Wisdom with my daughter, totally different. Like I promise you, we weren't even thinking about. Only towards December, only towards the end, when I was out there, did the conversation about masks even re-enter the conversation. But when I went out there in the beginning of the summer, all the way up to December, my nigga, masks. I mean, there were certain stores that you would go into, and they'd be like, you gotta have a mask on. So you either have one in your pocket or you get it from the store, but that shit was not on people's frontal lobe at all. That wasn't the corona what? Nobody wasn't even talking about that. So, it's a mental like shit is crazy, bro. It's a mental like cuz if it was really real, why is everybody in Miami? These niggas are not wearing masks, bro. Miami turned into fucking Memorial Weekend for like 3 months straight. You don't hear there ain't nobody on live coughing. You know what I'm talking about? They only coughing from the exhaust from the Lambo smoke. Nobody is coughing. They coughing off of the goddamn Obama runs. But they not talking about the rise. Yeah, they not talking about the rise in COVID on South Beach or the fucking Wynwood District, my nigga. No. So there's a lot and that's not to say that something is not out there. There's something out here hopping on niggas. There's something out there jumping on niggas' chest and doing a fucking Junebug challenge on their chest. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it ain't out there, but it ain't what the fuck they telling you. It's something I don't know what the hell is going on. But putting a mask on a 2-year-old is crazy. Shit crazy, bro. These niggas is cuckoo. I mean, they're trying to conform society. They're trying their best to transform and fucking mutate society to some fucking drones. Because I promise you, bots, I promise you, what is the mask? I'm in a city walking. I have finished eating and whatnot. I don't got my mask on. These niggas is looking at me in the open air streets. We not in no enclosed space. We outside.
Yeah.
You should have seen. I'm looking at, because what they got their mask on, they just got their eyebrows and their eyes and whatnot. Nigga, if looks could kill, bro, we have a fucking ticker tape parade right now. Like they was eyeballing me like I was a virus.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
So think about the mentality of that, Rich. People are mad at you. They're saying that you putting them in danger for wanting to breathe. Right? Normally, I'm in a gym, fam. I'm in a fucking gym.
You gonna work out with a mask on? Bro?
Yes. That's the requirements. Niggas is mad. I seen a nigga with 2 masks on going hard on this machine.
Yeah.
We in the gym. I gotta, I'm anti-masking, and they, can you put your mask on? So then I put it under my nose, and I'm just watching people working out. And I'm like, fam, do you understand what you're doing to your body right now?
Yeah.
This shit is insane.
First of all, it's even dangerous to work out in a gym because it's much better to work out outside. A dude taught me that 15 years ago because of the oxygen outside.
I'm in Planet, Planet Fitnesses don't got windows, right? None of them have windows.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole, that shit might be in the blueprint, not to have a window. Mad congested, right? People with masks on, no sunlight. And I'm like, nah, this ain't it, bro. This can't be the new normal. So the mask is almost like a state-sponsored, identification. They will look at you and be like, he's not one of us. This is the new star. You know what I mean? They're like, he's not one of us. He's an outsider. He's an outcast. This nigga's a misfit. You know what I'm talking about? He's not one of us. So whereas it would have just been a safety precaution to wear your mask, it's slowly becoming socialized. They socialized it to where it's an identification apparatus to where they could be like, he's not of the same mind state.
Identification apparatus.
Facts.
Wow.
He's not of the same mind state of the firm. Right? Of the government, of the state, of what Biden decreed. So it's like, damn. And then think about that. It's on a global scale. So we're not talking America. We're talking about anywhere that you go in the globe. They're like, yo, this nigga, they'll ignore you, but subliminally in their mind, they're like, yeah, this is a rambunctious nigga. He's not with the program. So that they need to end that shit real fast. Shout out to all of the states that killed that, man. I'm going to Texas next week.
You going to the Republican states?
What
going to the Republican Candace Owens states?
Yeah, I'm going to the Lone Star State. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I'm going to Kansas Owens is out there?
Nah, I don't know. I know she be on her conservative shit, so I just threw her name.
Yeah, I'm going out there. I'm going to good old boys.
Listen, let's leave your information for the people, man. We've been on here for 2 hours, man, almost 2 hours.
Indeed.
It's a pleasure to have you back on here, my brother.
Likewise,
let the people
always a
know,
pleasure to be here.
Let the people know how they can support you, Red.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, indeed, family. Find me on the socials. All right, the social media. That's PHIL_MORELAND. I'm always on the gram, popping up, posting, putting the information out there, keeping the family up to date with the events that we're having. Every Monday and every Thursday, you can find me on YouTube. That's Know the Ledge Media. That's our channel. Check out Melanin Mondays, Third Eye Thursdays. We've been doing that for about 3 or 2 years, going nonstop. And also check me out on Discord. I'm on Discord. Join the group. The biggest crypto play ever. All right, biggest crypto play ever. You could put that in the search bar, and that'll take you to the group. It's over 1,000 of us. We talk all things crypto, NFTs. We're connected to the Tron blockchain. we're getting money, we're doing things, we're making things happen, and we got youngsters with us as well. And also streamchasers.com. Shout out to all of my stream chasers out there. Go to streamchasers with a z.com. That is the wealth program that I have for brothers and sisters who are out here tapping into multiple income streams, that are not satisfied with one income stream and want to tap into the boom that's taking place. I've already done, I think, 3 workshops, and I got another one coming up later on this month with Billionaire PA. We're going to be dealing with all things economic and financial. And I also have a workshop coming up with my bro, with Rich, one of these days soon as well. But we'll keep you up to date with that, and we'll let you know. All right. And go to the redsummer.com and the redsummermerch.com for that album, The Red Summer. All right. Appreciate you, King.
Indeed, family. Make sure you go to manifestdestinymusic.com to get that new album that was released with myself, Black Magic, Loaded Lux, Cambada.
Shout out to Loaded. Shout out to Cam. I heard that diss track tonight. God, Gift of Death.
Gift of Death. Yeah, Lux is getting busy right now. But family, we maneuvering in different areas to teach the people things that we are naturally gifted at. We're naturally musicians. We're naturally loving, we're naturally business people, we're naturally so many wonderful things that, they may have just cornered the markets or manipulated the markets for us not to be involved in it. But there's a lot of technology that's providing certain levels of freedom that we should be getting involved in right now. And that's a lot of the things that I've been talking about. You see, I shifted the platform to this particular area of knowledge for a certain. I could have easily Red Pill named this broadcast tonight. Sharon Osbourne makes what's the Cheryl Underwood cry because of British racism. Nigga, we would have been lit 3K tonight. I guarantee. If I would have said Sharon Osbourne makes Cheryl Underwood cry due to British royal racism, we would have been lit 3K.
Yeah, people love that shit.
Trust me, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I know what to do when I want to do it, bro.
Right.
But sometimes I just can't do. I can't do that too much, bro. Like sometimes I'll do the current events and I'll put my own angle on it.
Yeah, we love that. We love to chop it up and whatnot because that's what we do just naturally.
Yeah.
But we also have to be very urgent with our messages and very timely with the information, because one of the things changing, like you were talking about, getting emails about life change and changing lives and whatnot. And when I get those emails, like they're so assuring. You know what I mean? Like they're so assuring, and they make me, they basically let me know that I'm on the right path. That I kind of sell myself cheap because I'm like, yo, that's all I need. All I needed to hear was that I helped change somebody's day, because it might come at a time where my day needs some help. You know what I mean? And that email reciprocated and helped me out the same way that they like, yo, you helped me out. So I'm like, you know what? Fair exchange, man. Live your life. Love is love. You know what I mean? When you see me, buy me a Bitcoin, nigga.
Yo, somebody named Destiny said, yo, Rich, you should have said Dame Dash was coming on again. Nigga, I would have had 7,000. They would have thought they thought it would have been some drama. Oh, niggas. Oh man, they come out of nowhere. Popcorn. They would have got their Moringa popcorn. They would have called their peoples. Yo, oh man, if they do that drama, they thought some drama was happening. I remember Red. I remember Billy Carson was on here, right?
Yeah.
And then Phil came on here with the Earth is Flat T-shirt on.
Right.
Niggas thought it was gonna be drama. Niggas was hyped. They was hyped. They thought it was gonna be some drama.
Facts.
Like, nah, everybody was just talking, vibing.
I seen that one. Factory.
We could have disagreed with each other and still talk and have a conversation.
That's a fact.
Billy ain't with Flat Earth. Phil's not with Round Earth. They was on the same show together, kicking it. You know what I'm saying?
But there's so many other things to talk about. There's so many other
Yes.
things to build on. It's so many other bridges to build.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the deal breaker. You know what I mean? Like niggas is not pit bull fights. This is not a pit bull fight.
My
Like
nigga, I don't hate you if you think the earth is flat or not, my nigga. Like, I'm
exactly.
not mad either. Well, why? I don't care.
Right. You know, have fun on your flat earth, my nigga.
Whatever.
You know what I'm
Or
talking about?
round. It doesn't matter. Have
It
fun. Like,
doesn't,
what
it
the
don't
fuck?
change anything. It
They
don't
be
change
mad. Some people
anything.
be mad when you don't believe what they believe, bro. Like,
That's called a zealot.
yeah, zealot.
You feel me? That's
Yeah.
called a zealot. You know,
That shows
people,
a lack of confidence in what you say you believe in.
that's
when you
right.
feel that
Because
way.
when you confident in what the fuck you believe in, you good.
You
It
don't
don't
care
matter.
who.
You
Yeah,
don't
you don't
care who.
care. Yeah.
You welcome those that are like mine, but you don't shun those that are not like mine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody is like, yo, I ain't with none of that shit. I don't want to get no money in life. Like, I'm just good with the conspiracy theory. I'm like, nigga, conspire on. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Why? Because I was there.
Mm.
I know what that shit feel like. I was there with you, nigga. I was stuck in the mud one day. I was very ignorant to a lot of things. So I don't take none of that personal. This shit is not like certain people gotta hear time after time after time after time in order for the shit to penetrate. I know who the fuck we speak to. I meet a lot of them. You know what I mean? Then I know the people that we speak to get it like this. I meet them as well. So it's all love, man. Like this is, we are all learning from each other's. People are gonna learn from my mistakes, Rich, and I'm comfortable with that.
Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with people learning from my mistakes. Why? Because I wish I had somebody like me that was teaching me about the mistakes when I was coming up. You know what I'm talking about? And hopefully they'll learn from those mistakes and then that shit will help them avoid it. And then they'll be able to avert. I went the wrong way. I had to reroute. You know what I mean? A nigga could reroute his life or her life and take another path and whatnot based off of the shit that they may see somebody else do. Be like, nah, I don't want to get into that. I don't want, you know what I mean? I'm good.
Yeah.
So as long as you learning from each other, I learned from Matt. Nigga, I could learn from a fool.
Yeah.
All the way up to the illest genius that I've ever met. It's still a lesson in every single aspect. You know, and that's when you know that you reached a level of maturity when you're able to extract a lesson from all of this shit. I don't take none of this shit personal. To be honest with you, I laugh at 89% of this shit. Is wild funny. You know what I'm talking about?
At this point, yeah.
At this point, the shit is humorous.
At this point.
So, you know, love is light.
Hey, family, we getting out of here, family. Thanks for tuning in. Brother Rich and Red Pill, we get out of here, family. I will see you next time. All right. Peace.